How do you build an effective Bible study routine that works just for you? Well, sister, that's a very good question. And I'm here to share with you the most important step, the first and foremost step that you need to take in order to get an effective Bible study routine that works just for you. So you're going to come out of this podcast episode ready and prepared to enact, to practice, to do this first step. You're going to come out feeling, my hope is that you're going to come out feeling a lot more confident in taking that first step. Okay, sister? All right. Are you ready? All right, let's do this. Are you so busy and overwhelmed that you can't get enough time to connect with God? Are distractions robbing you of your time with Jesus? Is your motivation to spend time in the Word just not what it used to be? Do you want to be more consistent in your personal Bible study? Welcome home, sister. I'm Rosie, a mom, wife, teacher, and devoted disciple of Jesus. And like you, I struggled to stay consistent with my Bible study. When life got busy, I felt so overwhelmed that spending time in God's Word was no longer a priority. In my hardest seasons of life, my motivation to be in the Bible grew weak. I lost my convictions and walked away from God. But by His grace, my faith was restored, and with a conviction to never take God's Word for granted again. If you're tired of letting the enemy steal away your time, energy, focus, and motivation, then sister, this podcast is for you. So go reheat your coffee, dust off your journal and Bible, and get ready to take back your time. Well, sister, I have so much goodness to share with you about this topic that you're going to love so much. And I have even more amazing goodness to share with you with this very step, and actually 3 steps that come after that, because although this is the most important step, we're going to talk about this. There's 3 more things that you must do in order to stay the road, to stay the way, to stay the course, right? That people say to stay the course. So there are 3 more things. So really there's 4 steps. Today we're going to go over the most important one, because if you don't start here, it's not going to happen. So you're going to walk away feeling a lot more confident, trust me. Well, you might be asking yourself, what about the other 3 steps? Well, today's your lucky day, my sister, because I am going to be sharing that with you on August 1st. That's Tuesday, August 1st at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time, live in my community. Okay. So if you are in my community, all you got to do is just tune in during your lunch break and listen to me live, because if you do it live, even though it will be recorded, so if you miss it, it's okay. You can still watch it. It'll be there. But if you do it live, you're going to be entered into a chance to win a few door prizes that I have for you, which you're going to absolutely love. All right. So on that day, this day is very special and it's coming up real soon if you're listening to this before August 1st. And it's okay if you're not listening to this until after, because I know a lot of you tune into my podcast or find my podcast later. That's okay. It'll still be in the group, so you can still get a lot out of it. So what you can expect is to walk away in that workshop knowing the 4 steps and getting ready to actually begin those steps and really feel so much more empowered and ready to get a consistent Bible study routine so that you can start really connecting deeply to your Father in heaven, which is really my goal for you. It's really my goal for you. So you can find it by going to bit.ly/let's be intentional. That's the link to the group, to the community. And that's all you have to do, really. Do it ASAP so that you don't have to miss out. Remember that the community is called Intentional Bible Study for Christian Women. You can also find it directly there just by typing it in on Facebook if you'd like, or just clicking on the link below. Now, if you're like, I can't wait to implement step 1 and I need help and mentoring doing it, then sister, I'm the one for you, because as of starting in the month of August, actually, after that workshop, I'm going to be offering to you relationship coaching, connection coaching, so that you can have an amazing connection with your most important relationship, so that you can connect to your Father in heaven. Sister, I hear you. I know what you're going through. I know that it's hard. It's busy for you. You may be going through a season of difficulty, challenges, extra busyness in life, you name it. Only you know. You and God know. Maybe others around you know what you're going through, but you and God knows it more, right? You may be going through something very difficult, or just it just may be so difficult to focus, to concentrate, to even find the energy, the time, or even sometimes the motivation. We talk a lot about motivation here. There's different things that other things we prioritize, right? And our motivation isn't exactly there for putting our Bible study or our devotion, right, to God, our time with God first. And I understand that because I've been there. I know what that's like. So I'm here to help you. I want to be your coach and mentor. I want to help you through the process. So if you're ready to just start right away, that's easy. Just go to theintentionalchristianwoman.com. That's my website. Just go there or click directly on the calendar link that you'll also find below to schedule a call. Okay, sister? Now, what is the number one thing you need to do in order to establish an amazing Bible study routine? Well, first, let me clarify what a routine is. And I want to also tell you about habits, because habits and routines sometimes can be confused, and it's very important for you to understand these two words before I begin to tell you step one. So first of all, what is a routine? According to Oxford, it says a routine is a sequence of actions regularly followed, a fixed program, performed as part of a regular procedure rather than a special reason. Dictionary.com says it's duties as must be done regularly or at specified intervals. So, like, you may do it every day, whatever routine you're doing, you may do this every other day. It just depends. A routine is a routine, and you can, every Saturday I do this. Every Saturday I do laundry, for example. Every other day I sweep the floors, right? Something like that. Like, you're constantly doing every other day. But a habit, on the other hand, is something a little bit different, actually pretty different. It's kind of looks familiar, but it is pretty different. So the definition of a habit, it says a habit is a behavior done with little or no thought, while a routine involves a series of behaviors frequently and intentionally repeated. And as far as habits, it says with enough time and the right techniques, routines can actually turn to habits. And that's the good news. Because when you have a Bible study routine that you consistently do again and again and again, it can turn into a habit, which is the goal. Which is the goal. You start with a routine and you are going to go into making it a habit. If you hopefully you brush your teeth every day. I hope, sister. We brush our teeth every day, hopefully in the morning and in the evening. Twice a day is recommended, right? But yeah, just that's like an example of a habit, right? So a habit could be something you do well, this could be a routine too, but every single night before you go to bed, you drink tea, like me. I probably will put that more into a routine because there are a couple of nights that I forget and I'm so tired, I just go straight to bed. But I love drinking a cup of tea at night. It relaxes me. It relaxes me. I love my chamomile lavender. Actually, it relaxes me, and it helps my stomach digestion and all that. So I just love that. But a habit could be a lot of different things. Like you can make a routine into a habit. So this is the goal, right? Is to make our Bible study routine, but our devotionals with God, our times with God, our quiet times, call it whatever you want, quiet times, I call it sometimes, our time of refreshing our spirit, our time of prayer with the Lord, just a time of sometimes even just sitting there and meditating, but a specified time of the day. And my preferred is in the morning. That's my preferred. I know that not everybody can do it. Sometimes it can be during your lunch break. Sometimes it could be in between, if you're a mom of littles, the nap times, if you're a stay-at-home mom, or in the evening before you go to bed. Of course, I caution you, be cautious that before you go to bed, if you do this, that you're still alert and that you can understand what you're reading without, like, don't read the Bible to fall asleep, please. I actually listen to verses to fall asleep. There's a couple of podcasts out there that actually read you silent, like really, like, oh, these verses, which I love. That's an awesome way of adding to your relaxation and to Bible study, that's fine. You're not really studying. You're actually just kind of listening and meditating on the word and listening to whatever you can until you fall asleep. That's fine. That's fine. But that would be like an enrichment, not like something to do as a replacement. Okay, just a warning there, sister. Don't take it like, oh, I'm gonna just fall asleep to the Bible. That's not really gonna help you enrich and grow your relationship with God. All right. So what's the number one thing? So here is what it is. The first and number one thing you must do, sister, you must plan a time for Bible study. Decide, right? It has to be planned within your day. So like you'll decide, for example, let's say the time that your house is the quietest. Like I'll give you my example. The time that my house is the quietest is earlier in the morning when everyone's asleep. On the work week or even on the weekends. I wake up earlier than everyone else on purpose, and I want to make sure that I have that time with God first thing in the morning. After I do my brushing my teeth, all that, the other habits, right? The get my coffee and my decaf coffee, which I love so much. Having a little hot beverage there, I have a little caffeine in it. So I have decaf and I always add a little caffeine because I do need a little boost, but I don't like to overdo the caffeine. So that's my cup of coffee in the morning, and I just like to have it ready. And sometimes I even start listening to another, like a podcast or a Bible verse of the day, or a podcast that has a like a Bible lesson, just to start off while I'm getting my coffee ready sometimes. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm just in silent, just that's it. But I start my morning by waking up, and the first thing I'm doing is I started this routine again because I had lost I did it for a while and I stopped, and I started just waking up and thanking God for the day, thanking God for the fact that I'm alive, for my family, for just a quick little 1 minute thankful prayer before I get up for my bed or as I'm getting up from my bed. And that kind of sets my heart and tone for the day. Before I look at my phone, before I look at anything, that's what I do. And so I kind of do that. But you have to plan what works for you. So if you're not a morning person, and when I say that, I hate to label people whether you're a morning person or an evening person, because you can be any person you want, really. You set your mind to it. I remember my husband, he was a quote unquote night person when he was single. When he got married and he had to he actually had to get up earlier because he started this job years ago where he had to be there much earlier. So he had to make himself a morning person. He had to make it where he had his devotionals in the morning, his Bible study in the morning. Now, it wasn't super awesome. I mean, yeah, he would read his Bible, he would read it, he would be intentional with it. He'd pray most of the time on his way to work because again, he's tired, right? He's having his coffee, he's tired. But he had to change that. And then on the weekends, he would play sort of catch up with his in-depth Bible study. Like he would get more into it. He would be more alert because he'd sleep in a little bit to get some rest. And so that's what he did. So even though he was a quote unquote night person, he adjusted. So there's not, you can always adjust. Of course, disclaimer, if you have certain health issues, if you have sleeping issues, things like that are medical, I get it. Like you have to do what you got to do, what works for you. But what works for me and what I recommend if you can is to do this in the morning. That's my recommendation. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be in the evening, as long as you're not too sleepy. It could be in the middle of the day on your lunch break. As long as the area is quiet, or you can go outside somewhere if you're able to do that, or on a place that is quiet, and just or put in headphones if it's not quiet, and listen to some classical music or Christian background music if that helps. And you can do that at your workspace if you'd like. And there you go. But the important thing is that the number one step is to plan that time for Bible study. Now, finding that time sometimes can be a little tricky because if you're not used to having a consistent time, or maybe you do have it most mornings, but you can't always have it every morning because maybe a couple mornings a week is a little crazier. Like with me, a few mornings a week, I take my son to school. The other few mornings, his dad, which is from my first marriage, he's with him during half the week, and he takes him the other half. So when I take him, he's in high school, so he has to be there earlier. So I have to adjust adjust a little bit, and I have to wake up a little earlier, and my times aren't as big as timely. Like I usually do 20 minutes. I have to decrease it to 15 minutes or 10 sometimes. And then sometimes I have to pray on the way. And then, that's where I do a little catch up in the week. That's why I love my dates with God, because my dates with God in the weekend, and I've spoken about this in other episodes, allows me to dig deeper into my Bible on a Saturday. Usually it's on a Saturday morning, and I stay in there for like half an hour or more, and sometimes 45 minutes, and I just like write notes, and I study, and I go in depth, like really in depth, and I really get into my Bible, because that's just the way that I really get deeper into my Bible. But of course, I still get deep during the week because I have methods of doing it that has worked. That's why I want to share with you. I really want to share this all with you and give this all to you, sister, because I know how hard this is. But again, you have to make adjustments sometimes. But planning for that time, and then really with that, you have to stick to the time. Okay, stick to the time unless there's extenuating circumstances in which you can make adjustments. And there are ways to make adjustments for that I teach you as well. There's definitely other options, but you definitely want to get the word in one way or another into your heart every day and connect with God through the scriptures. Of course, prayer too, that is very important. It's a back and forth conversation, sister. It's like when you're married, you want to, or if you're in a relationship with someone you love, you really want to talk to them every day, or your kids. Like, disclaimer, I understand that we're not always wanting to talk to our kids. Just kidding. I always want to talk to my kids. But there might be days that you're like tired and you're like, I can't talk to you too much. I just want to go to sleep. I get that. But the idea is that you really want to connect with your loved ones, right? You really want to connect with your loved ones. You want to say something and be heard. You want to be heard, and then you want them to hear you. Okay. That communication is very important with your most important relationship, especially. Okay. So that's really the first and most vital step and pre-step really into the having a deeper connection with God. Okay, so tune in to the Facebook group and join in for the live. If you're hearing this before August 1st, all you have to do is request to join the group, and just I'll accept you. I'm looking in there more frequently in the next few days if you're listening before August 1st, because I want to make sure you get in on time, and invite any friends or family members that sisters that you might think that would really benefit from it as well. So feel free to invite them by tagging their name in the comments under the invitation that I have there for you. Okay, sister? All right. Well, that is it. That is my tip. That is my advice. That is my number one step. The number one thing you must do in order to start a amazing and effective Bible study routine. And I'm telling you right now, sister, if you just do that, even if you're like, okay, I'm going to try to do this on my own. Like, let me try this for a week on my own. Try it. Because you may be surprised. You may be able to do it. Like, I believe in you. I know you can. And I know that keeping it up is going to be maybe a little harder. That's where I can come in and help you, and you can come into my community, and we can lift you up and encourage you and pray for you. Sister, we got an amazing on fire prayer chat in there, on fire. When I say that, I am not even exaggerating. Where sisters are praying for each other constantly, every week, checking in on each other in the prayer chat in the community. So even if it's for the prayer chat, you want some prayer, come into the group. We want to pray for you, sister. Seriously. All right, sister? All right, I love you so much. Know that I am praying for you, and I will see you hopefully on Tuesday. And I will definitely see you in the next episode. Love you. Bye. Hey sister, if this episode encouraged or blessed you in some way, then the best thing you can do is share it with a friend. Also, I would love it if you join me in my Facebook community, Intentional Bible Study for Christian Women. There is an amazing sisterhood, encouraging one another and praying for each other. And sister, if you've ever thought about connecting deeper with God through a consistent, powerful, and uniquely designed Bible study routine that works just for you and your time needs, look no further, because I am your mentor and friend and your coach, and I can help you. All you need to do is write me at coachwithrosie@gmail.com. You can connect with me there, or you can check out theintentionalchristianwoman.com for more details. Lastly, if you haven't done so yet, I would invite you to leave me a review on Apple Podcasts. This is the way that I know this show is blessing you. My sister, I love you. Know that I'm praying for you, and I will see you in the next one.